The Samoan Prime Minister has made a special trip to an Australian school to thank the community for supporting Samoa when it was hit by a devastating tsunami. Students from the school in Ipswich in Queensland raised money and went to Samoa to help after 143 people were killed in the tsunami back in 2009.
Samoan students at St Edmunds Christian Brothers College performing the Manu Samoa Siva Tau war dance for the Samoan Prime Minister Tuilepa Sailele. Prime Minister Tuilepa told a gathering at the school the Samoans could save the wallabies.
There are many Samoans playing rugby for the All Blacks, and I'm sure the Samoans also here will be able to help the Wallabies counter the All Blacks.
Prime Minister Tuilepa was visiting St Edmunds to thank the school community for how it has helped Samoa.
The Samoan boys are certainly an asset to our school.
Keith Halpin, a teacher at the school, has led 5 groups of students to Samoa, beginning soon after the devastating 2009 tsunami when he was teaching at another school, Nudgee Junior.
So they banded together and made sure that they raised some significant funds for the communities and the villages along the disaster zone.
Mr Halpin continued the Samoan visits after moving to St Edmunds, and they've already transported equipment worth more than $50,000 to Samoa.
Medical equipment in the lines of fetal heart rate monitors, bandages, first aid supplies, and significant things like beds and the infrastructure that is associated with hospitals. We probably have about $60,000 worth of medical equipment stored in our school, and the difficulty is becoming actually getting it over there.
I went last year to help out the schools in Whalefa and the school in Vaisala.
Cyprian Tangataiuli was born in New Zealand and migrated to Australia, but he's proud of his Samoan heritage.
You really take something from the people. They're always loving, they're always looking out for you.
Samoa's Prime Minister said the help was appreciated.
I would like to extend my own delegation's gratitude. Thank you once again.
It's only the second time any Prime Minister has visited St Edmunds. Sean Dorney, ABC News, Ipswich.
Tongans in New Zealand are desperately fundraising to keep their loved ones alive to pay for life-saving dialysis treatment, which is free to New Zealanders but not to non-resident Tongans. Patients are spilling over to New Zealand because the Tongan government can't afford a dialysis unit and want to spend its money on diabetes prevention. John Pulu reports.
The village of Vaini, south of Nuku'alofa, is the home of Ana Osai. The 50-year-old mother of 2 has been handed a death sentence. She has kidney failure and she no longer sees a future with her family. Anna's condition has weakened her. No longer mobile, she's housebound. All that her children have left is hope. Anna urgently needs kidney dialysis treatment. The only problem is she can't get it in Tonga. At Viola Hospital, doctors are doing their best to keep patients like Anna alive. All they can offer her is extra time.
What we're doing at the moment, we're just looking at the reversible stuff, mainly to do with the quality of life. And this is almost sort of terminal care we're providing, palliative care.
Every 3 to 4 weeks, Anna receives the gift of life, donated blood from members of her own family. It gives her a few more precious weeks of health.
Every year, 60 more Tongans need dialysis, but the problem is Tonga's medical experts say this country can't afford a dialysis centre or have the experts to run one.
This is not the right time for dialysis in Tonga. And basically because the cost is prohibitive. so high, and the Tonga government or the Minister of Health Tonga cannot afford to run the dialysis unit.
That's bad news for Anna and her loved ones because she knows she's at the end of the road unless she goes where dialysis is available, probably New Zealand. But like so many Tongans in the same situation, Anna just can't afford it. The most common form of dialysis treatment for people like Anna is hemodialysis. Here's how it works. It filters toxins from damaged or diseased kidneys. When the patient's blood enters the machine, the toxins pass from the blood through a membrane into a special solution called dialysate. The clean blood then returns to the body and the dirty dialysate carrying the toxins is pumped away. It's very effective but very expensive. So what are the costs? New Zealand spends $150 million on around 2,500 dialysis patients a year. Per patient per year, that's $73,000 for hospital-based hemodialysis and $45,000 for home-based hemodialysis. But if Tonga had dialysis, it would eat up about a third of their $23 million annual health budget. So we can see it's a massively expensive way of prolonging someone's life, but New Zealand does offer dialysis to its residents and to non-residents who can afford to pay. Reverend Sione Malamalavaya has come to New Zealand to save his life. Sione is having a different kind of dialysis which doesn't remove and replace the blood. Instead, the process pumps fluid into the stomach lining, the peritoneum. The fluid then picks up the waste that the kidneys haven't been able to process, and the fluid is pumped back out again. It's a different way of doing the work of the kidney, but carries the same huge cost. The New Zealand government spends $40,000 per patient per year for peritoneal dialysis. Sione is forking out more than $3,000 a month for his life-saving treatment. Sione is on a visitor's visa, and being a non-resident means he's paying for his own treatment. He's now running out of money and is forced to beg to fund his treatment. His plea was answered by the community. Church members and businesses came together to donate for his treatment.
We want to help out, to reach out to our people, even though that we are struggling, but we still help each other because that's our Tongan way of trying to help each other.
Sione was too sick to attend his own fundraiser, but his wife was overwhelmed by the $11,000 raised. That is money to fund an extra 4 months of life with her husband.
It's a very hard condition because I know the love from the people is very important. Without love, no life.
As hard as it is for Reverend Vaya, back in Tonga, the numbers of patients continue to grow.
If you want to cure your people from dying of this, you must do something right now.
Onesi Tuifua has late-diagnosed diabetes. His bleak future is likely renal failure and a desperate need for dialysis.
That is my question to all the absolute powers here in the country. What are you waiting for? The people dying every day. Your parents, your brothers, your sisters, every day, every week. What are you waiting for?
That waiting is urgent for Anna and her family. In order to survive, she needs people to donate.
Found a girl in you. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you.
am of the very strong persuasion that we Pacific people have something in the world that's completely different from all other people. And if you're going to influence any society or any group of people, information is the key. That's the driver. It's a change of thinking, influence their thinking, which consequently influence their lifestyle, their behavior, and information is the key thing to that. And so that's why I hang on for dear life to media. The victory for freedom of the press and freedom of expression was a victory for the people.
For this godfather of the Pacific media, freedom of speech has been a constant struggle and come at a price. But he's opened the floodgates for many journalists in the Pacific today by being the first voice to dare to criticise the repressive Tongan regime in the mid-90s with his now famous publication, Taimi o Tonga.
Up to that time, there was a declaration from government that there was no one that could start a newspaper in Tonga, not a private person. The first issue, I couldn't go to sleep for almost 3 days. You know, you typed out the stories, you had to lay them all out in those early days without the digital, where you had to paste and wax them, and then they photographed them. And then took it to the printer, got it printed in a sheet-fed print press, you know, and you wait for half a day for it to finish. You collate it by hand, and then you go out and sell them to the stores. Within a 3-month period, we had already bypassed both the church and the government newspaper in terms of volumes and demand, and very, very fulfilling experience.
Don't you know? But changing the system took its toll on this veteran champion of media freedom. In 1996, the Tongan government sentenced him to 30 days in maximum security prison for treason.
All of a sudden we were jailed, and we are not prepared for it. Not only I was jailed, but my assistant editor was jailed. So that was the hard thing about it. So we had the whole operation there without any leaders. They put us in maximum security. We're not allowed pen, paper, anything to read, you know. But I mean, the guy who jailed us was kind of going out to get us, you know. But the funny thing, in maximum security, was they just had New Zealand aid, and they put up new facilities. And so the 3 cells where we were at were the brand new facilities, had your own flush toilet and all of these other things, you know. It was just incredible. We were better than the other non-maximum security. But what was famous was my toilet paper letters. You know, that I took the toilet paper because we're not allowed pen and paper. And then one of the guards that came in and got me to sign. Every time somebody said in food, I had to sign it. And I just held on to the pen after the last signature. And yeah, I started writing my articles, the editorials, things on toilet paper, big, nice, thick American toilet paper, and wrap them up. So whenever somebody came for a visit, I would hug them and put the toilet paper issue on their hands. And they took it back to the office, and they just typing. That went on for 4 weeks almost, yeah? It came up in government, in parliament actually, because the Minister of Police got up and says, here they are, they're in jail, and he's still writing. A journalist that was going to come to try to get us out of maximum security, so I whispered, please don't. We're very comfortable at maximum security.
Those days behind him, Kalafi now focuses on the international distribution of the newspaper that's been his passion for so long. And also on his raft of books on subjects as varied as Tonga's history and turbulent social-political situation.
We thought democracy was going to be the savior. It's going to be the messiah that will come and solve our problems. It's one thing to change your system to be a democracy. It's another thing to actually practice the principles of democracy. We still have a high crime rate that's going on. Corruption has not changed. It's still there. Our health issues is still bad. Our economy is really down. So there are all of these things that we had been looking for democracy to fix, and it hasn't been able to fix it. it's people in that system. And once they change and they become people who are honest and transparent and accountable and committed to good governance, we will get good results out of that.
Press freedom in the Pacific is a massive thing now, you know, compared to when it first started. It's definitely a motivation and, you know, encouragement for us young you know, kids to try and continue what they've started.
I think he worked on opening up all sorts of interesting little nooks and crevices in Tongan society to make Tonga talk about freedom generally. So you could say that he rewrote a chapter in the development of media in Tonga. And as far as media freedom is concerned, he paid dearly for that because he lost his freedom. He lost a lot of his personal wealth, basically, as a consequence of what he's done.
He definitely has paved a way for us, I guess, younger ones, because he's sort of that older generation. He sort of stepped up and was prepared to put himself out there.
It's an exciting life. I wouldn't change it for anything, Lisa. And it gives my children and grandchildren now just a much different perspective about life. Anything that brings changes, good changes to people's lives, wonderful. It's worth sacrificing for.
You guys looking for a great place that's throwing a great event? Come over here to Sweet Leilani's. They got some great food, some great music right here on Redwood Road. 4908 South, Redwood Road, Taylorsville, Utah, 84123. Like my man Elvis said, thank you very much.
Okay, the purpose for my Kuka Kuka or Talk Story session is because of all the problems that the Hawaiians are experiencing today. Several weeks ago, Kupuna Moku Ilima spoke to the Hawaiian people of Molokai about Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono is the healing of relationships between individuals. In this case, Kupuna Moku Ilima was asking the people to heal their relationship between Akua and their higher power. Today the Hawaiians are angry and confused regarding issues confronting Hawaiian Homestead, Bishop Estate, and their quest for a Hawaiian nation. Kupuna Moku Ilima spoke of her experiences as a young woman growing up here on the island of Molokai. The traditions of that time was to take all issues, big or small, to Akua or their higher power for enlightenment, understanding, and guidance as to the issues before them, before they even address the issues. About 2 weeks ago, the Kupunas of Molokai invited representatives from Bishop Estate, Hawaiian Homestead, and Senator Akaka's office to explain the problems they were experiencing to the people of Molokai, so that the people of Molokai could have a better understanding of the problems. After all was said and done, in my opinion, genocide has occurred. Genocide is the erasing of a race of people, in this case, the Hawaiians, their culture, and their language. The federal government says that there are only Americans today, no Hawaiians, no Hawaiian culture, no Hawaiian language. I myself is guilty of being a part of this genocide, for I was educated in the American system, I speak English, and I think American. Although I am a Hawaiian, I do not speak the Hawaiian language. My dad, who was pure Hawaiian, spoke 3 different dialects of Hawaiian. One dialect which he spoke to the people of Molokai during my youth, he referred to it as trash or kapulu. It was a lazy way of speaking Hawaiian. Another dialect which he spoke to his brothers and sisters and to the kupunas and elders of my youth. There was a third dialect which his older brothers and sisters could not speak, which he spoke to the kupunas and the elders of his youth, which was taught to him by his grandparents. When I questioned my dad as to why we were never taught to speak Hawaiian, he replied that if we were to speak Hawaiian, we needed to speak it correctly. And in order to speak it correctly, we had to be capable of thinking in Hawaiian. The English language was the language of the future, and the English language is a now-oriented language. The Hawaiian language is an agricultural language, it's a verb language, it's an action language, and it's a spiritual language. The difficulty with the Hawaiian language is that one word may have from 4 to 10 different definitions. Usage, translation, depends on who you're talking to, where that person is from, where you're sitting at the time, the subject of your conversation, the enunciation, pronunciation of the words, and because they believe the language carried so much power, they never spoke directly about anyone or anything. It was all spoken in metaphors. Now, I was disappointed for many, many years that I never spoke Hawaiian. But several years ago, I came to realize that my dad had taught me to think Hawaiian by the storytellings that he did for me throughout our relationship. Today, they are teaching a dialect of the Hawaiian language to the children in the schools. We have the hula, we have the ancient chants, chanters, we have our heiaus, we also have many, many other examples of our culture, but these are simply examples of our culture. In my opinion, the culture lies in the people, which brings me back to Kupuna Moku'ilima's presentation on Ho'oponopono. For Ho'oponopono, which is the healing of relationships, to occur, there has to be pono. Pono, in this case, translates to mean to become one with yourself. In becoming one with yourself, you will then become one with Akua, or your higher self. Now, in our culture, there are two ways of teaching. One is when you reach the age of understanding, which is between the ages of 7, 8, or 9, You are then assigned to the kahuna, that is the master of the gift God has given you. Your schooling begins. You are allowed to go wherever the kahuna goes. You're allowed to listen to every conversation that the kahuna gets involved in, but you are not to be seen or heard. You also are not allowed to ask questions, for the whole day is your lesson, and the classroom is life. And when the day is over, then you may ask any question as to what you have seen during the course of the day, and kahuna will go into great detail explaining everything to you. If you do not have any questions, then the kahuna will ask you a question. If you have no idea as to what the question is about, then it's end of conversation. For it's an indication to the kahuna that you did not pay attention to the lessons that were given to you for that day. And in the mind of the kahuna, it is a waste of the kahuna's time as well as your time in trying to teach you. But in this concept, Akua, or your higher power, in the future will present to you a very similar situation that will have all the problems that you did not pay attention. And this time, if you pay attention, in the Hawaiian way of thinking, it takes only one lesson to teach. The rest of the day is spent on you working on your pono. Pono is becoming one with yourself. And in order to become one with yourself, you must pull up all the negatives that we possess. Once you have pulled this up, then you have become one with Akua, or your higher power.
Do you find yourself singing in the showers? Do you find yourself singing on your way to work in your car? Do you want to be on the next American Idol or the next X Factor? Come on over to Sweet Leilani. It's electric. Boogie, 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 hey. 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 It's electric.
That's not how you doing, bro.
Oh, they're not feeling my It's Electric, so sorry, guys. Come on over to Sweet Leilani's here on 4908 South, Redwood Road, Taylorsville, Utah. 84123. Hit it, guys.
It's electric.
It's electric. Boogie, 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 hey. It's electric. Boogie, 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 hey. It's electric. Boogie, 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 hey. It's electric.
We'd like to welcome you to Island Cooking today. Today we're going to cook a very popular and well-known dish throughout Polynesia. It's called chop suey. And over here I have all my ingredients ready. But you know, we got our stove going over here. You can cook this inside the house and anywhere, but today I'm going to cook it out because I'm cooking a little bit more than usual. So I like to turn my burner on very mild. I don't want to put it up too high. Okay, there's our pot that we're going to use for cooking today. We don't want this to be too strong. Just put it on mild, put the pot on top, We are going to start with the oil in cooking our chop suey today, okay? And so we're going to let the oil heat up, and you can pretty much tell when the oil is heat up. You can see little bubbles coming up, or if you throw something in, it's going to cook it like sizzling right away. But here's our stuff for today. We have here our meat. We're gonna use beef to do our cooking today, and then we have our soy sauce that we're going to use. A lot of times people like to use a lot of soy sauce just to make it to give it that salty taste, but you don't have to use a whole lot of salt, and I mean a whole lot of soy sauce. You just use a little bit. If you need more, then you can add a little bit of salt to make it, but don't put, you know, more and more soy sauce, because you want to get that salty taste. Then over here we're going to use frozen mixed vegetables over here. This vegetable already have carrots, beans, corn, that will give the flavor and you know, the fruits, I mean the vegetables that we need. We also have some garlic over here. This is really important. It gives a very good flavor for the chop suey. We also have some ginger over here. And I start cooking with the onion. Here's the onion here, and when our oil is heat up, then we're going to start with the onion. For our cooking today, we're going to use this siphon long rice over here. Some of you like to use the thicker one. That's good, whatever you prefer, doesn't matter. But I find it that this is very inexpensive, because $1.99 for this, and it works just as good as the others. Not a thick type of chop suey, but very good. Okay. And then now I can see that our oil is heat up, so we start with our onion. Our onions in there. And as we put our onions, we want the onions to have that nice flavor before you add the other stuff. Then we have our ginger. We can add our ginger in. Gives a really nice taste to have the ginger and also the garlic. You know, I don't want to add this in right away, because I don't want this to get burned. I just want it to stay fresh, to give out that nice flavor that we have. Okay. Once you stir a little bit. Ooh, smells really good in the garlic and the ginger inside, mixed with the onion. Give it a minute or two, and then we can add the other ingredients. What I like to add in next is our meat. This is beef that we're going to use for our chop suey today. And so you add it in. Smells good, tastes good. Okay. And I like to add in a little bit of water, you know, with the sauce, that the meat was in there. Just kind of help it cook faster, and so the meat doesn't get burned. Okay, and so we got our meat in there, and then we're gonna put the lid on and let it boil a little bit to cook the meat. You don't have to use a whole lot of soy sauce. And some people like to use the soy sauce because it's not salty enough, and then they keep on using the soy sauce. I would rather use the soy sauce, and if you want the color to be in your chop suey, you can use this. This is a dark flavor, mushroom dark flavor soy sauce, which gives a dark color to the chop suey. And if you need a little bit more salty, you don't have to keep on adding soy sauce, but you can put a little bit of salt to give it that taste that you want. Smells good. Hey, I like this mixed vegetable because they're evenly cut, but it also has 3 different vegetables in there. Okay. In fact, 4 different vegetables. We have carrots, peas, beans, and corn inside here that we can use. You can smell the nice simmer that comes out of this pot over here. Of course, we have the onions, we have the ginger, and then we also have the garlic, so that gives us a very nice flavor. And then today we're going to use Kikkoman sauce for cooking, and you put some sauce in there. Okay. Mix it up a little bit. You know, there's different ways of cooking chop suey. I've seen people who, continue to add soy sauce after they put it in the long rice, and I don't want to, I don't want to do that very much. I want to get my sauce just right the way I want it to be. So that way, when I put my long rice, we don't want to cook it too long or overcook it. So even our meat, we don't want to overcook our meat also. We want to cook it just right so that when you eat it, you can taste the meat rather than the meat dissolves in your mouth if it's really overcooked. I know in the islands talk a little bit about chop suey, and chop suey is a term that's kind of given for a dish that is mix of many ingredients. And with cooking chop suey in Samoa, we have some Oriental that came over, some Chinese that came over, and probably brought the long rice, that we use for the chop suey. And because we use it with different ingredients, it's called chop suey. That's many things that we use, and it's probably one of the popular and very enjoyable dish in the Pacific. Almost any culture would love to eat the chop suey if it's cooked right, if it's not overcooked with the long rice, but just cooked right. And you can go to any Polynesian wedding, any Polynesian funeral, or any other activities, graduation parties, and so forth, and you can almost be sure that there's going to be chop suey over there. And people really enjoy it a lot. As we talked earlier about where this, the Samoan or Polynesian people just kind of adapt this dish to their own style and then to their own taste, because they use the Oriental stuff over here, but we adapt this to the way that we want it and how we want it to serve. the same as all the other Polynesian islands. You know, they have their ways of cooking the chop suey. It's pretty much, you know, universal among the Pacific Islanders. Pretty much use the same ingredients and cook the same way. But, you know, the amount of time that goes into it and how you mix the sauce and so forth makes it a little bit different. And, you know, some chop suey, you know, the long rice is overcooked, so it almost melts in your mouth. But a lot of us, we don't want it that way. We want to be able to chew a little bit on the long rice and the meat as we eat. I use this dark mushroom sauce, and it helps give the color, the dark color to the chop suey without making it salty. What I'm trying to do over here is I want to make the color of my chop suey exactly the same way I want. You know, so when we put the long rice in there, we don't have to keep on adding the soy sauce to it, because sometimes it takes longer to boil and then it can overcook your long rice. But when you have your sauce ready just like how you want it, you put the long rice in there, you're ready to go. Okay, meat is cooked fine, and our sauce is just the way we want it. So we're gonna add long rice. This is the long rice, and this goes in, you know, this. You mix it around and then you let it boil a little bit. Let that nice sauce sink into the long rice, okay? I think the meat costs maybe about $7, and then you cut it up the way that you want it and so forth, and I think the long rice that we use today comes out to about $2, and we use about 10 of those today. So, and this mix is about $2.50 per bag for the vegetable mix over here, and of course your oil. And so, to put together a nice big chop suey, this can feed up to about 50 people. And so it probably, if we add up all the costs of this, probably come to about $45, to be able to feed 50 or 60 people with this chop suey. And then the last thing that we do is we add our vegetables. We don't want to add the vegetable too fast, because again, we don't want to overcook our vegetable. This type of cooking, where we're cooking for maybe about 50 people and so forth outside, I time it, and it just took us a little over 30 minutes to get to where we're at right now with the chop suey. And the only thing left now is to put our vegetables in. As soon as the chop suey expands and absorbs the water in there, then we put the mixed vegetable in. Chop suey is getting thicker, and then we add vegetables in there. And then you stir it around, and Just give your chop suey very nice color, and you have these colorful vegetables that goes in there. Well, this is the end result when the long rice expand, become thicker. It absorbs all the water. And you can see that we had quite a bit of water in there, but now, almost all the water is gone, and ready to serve. Okay. There we go. We're cooking all this food, the cooking that we did last night with imu, that we put the taros and the corned beef in. Also the chop suey, we're also cooking some sausage, New Zealand sausage, and this is for our plate lunch that we do once a month. Okay, so if you have any other question, you can contact us as 801 at 801-427-2900. If you have any other suggestions on how to improve our cooking, you're welcome to do so. If you have a dish that you want to cook, a Polynesian or island dish that you want to cook, let us know, call us, and we'll come and record it. Okay, again, this is Vai Laumatia, from Pacific World Incorporated, who's saying aloha and mahalo to all of you.
Hey, are you at home looking at all the walls inside your room? You're sick and tired of looking at everybody else's Facebook? Friday and Saturday nights, come on over here to Sweet Leilani's. We got reggae, Polynesian music, R&B, and a whole lot of funk. Come over here to Sweet Leilani's.
And please move to Samoa, because we men are moving out. Every day we cook, we use the crown oven, climb trees, get coconuts, make fire by rubbing sticks. Every day. That's why I ran away. Come here to get more education. Someday I'll go back and change it. Take a microwave oven. I want to share with you one of the most important part of cooking today. We're going to learn how to start the fire. Method that our people use in many, many years. To start the fire, we just rub sticks. So, that's all we're going to do. Rub sticks. So while you flick your big one, we rub our sticks. Very simple. It takes about 5.5 hours. So. Let's get going. Oh, man. This is how we do it. We rub sticks all day long. On rainy days, we don't eat. Then we go to McDonald's. I hate this job. Are you making movies? Okay. I make sure you see the movies. It's called Making Fire. Did you see the smoke? Did you see the smoke? That's fire. Do you want to see a big fire? Let me go get some gasoline. Look for some dry and flammable material. You can use papers and leaves. I'm using the dried coconut husk. We call it pulu. Everybody please say pulu. Pulu. Okay. You can transfer the burning particles to the pulu. Ooh. Holy smoke. Do you want to see flames? $5. Everybody please say fire! Japanese, heat! Japanese, Korea, bull! Bull! That's it. That pull is hot. You want to see how we put it out? Okay. I'll send it to the cooking place. So don't worry. Move. That's okay. Sit down. Sit down. Okay. So anybody can do this. You can start the fire anytime because any wood works. Make sure the wood is dry and your two pieces come from the same tree, all right? Do you know the name of this wood? No? Firewood. It works. It's a good wood. It's a wild hibiscus wood. You guys go home, you can use any wood. There's pine wood. There's so many different woods. So you can use all of them, okay? There's redwood, oak wood. Japanese use plywood. Anybody here from California? Yeah. Go home and use Hollywood. So please. Thank you. Try the method. Rub sticks and what? You can do it too. Oh yeah. Anybody missed the coconut cracking demonstration? Have you seen that? No. You want to see it? Yes. Do you want to see it? Yes. How about the tree climbing? Yes. You want to see that too? Yes. All right. We're the happy people. So we'll do it. All you need is a coconut. Look for the ripe ones. This coconut is ripe. You can tell by its color. It will turn brown like me when it's ripe. It tells me that some of you are not ripe yet. That's a joke. Husk your coconut using this opted. We call it mele. Say it. Mele. Come on, everybody. Mele. Mele. In English, sharp stick. Sharp stick. Japanese, bo. I thought you were over there. Now you're over here. Bo. Korea, 막쟁기. 막쟁기. Put it down here. First thing to do is kill the coconut. Second, push it down. Ow. Be careful. And push it down. Just follow 2 steps like this. Keep moving until this coconut is completely husked. I was doing that in slow motion for your convenience. In Samoa, this is one of the competitive sports. Record for the men, 3 seconds. Ladies, 2 days. That's why we cook. But I'll show you how to crack this in 2 pieces instead of 1,000,000,000 pieces. We look for the 2 eyes, mouth, and the nose right here. We locate the line that runs between the eyes because that's the softest spot. All you do is get hard up it and hit right across that line. You can use hammers and knives, screwdrivers, dynamite. In Samoa, we use our foreheads. You don't believe me, do you? Close your eyes. Okay. He's going. Anybody try to crack coconuts before? What did he use? Machetes, hammers? What did he use, lady? A rock? Did it work? How many pieces did he get? Lots of pieces. As long as it works, it's all right. Where are you from? California? That's what I thought. A lady from Canada told me that she put a coconut in the ground and ran it over with a lawnmower. Young man from Texas put out his .45 and shot thing between the eyes. While his mother-in-law was holding the coconut. I'll show you something. Go home and try this. Get yourself a rock. Everybody please say small rock. Small rock. Japanese, ishi. Ishi. Korea, dolmengi. Now look for the line. If I don't come out in 2 pieces, don't blame me. I'm a Samoan. This is Hawaiian coconut. Made in Japan. That's a joke, okay? Japanese. Oh? Are you ready? Are you ready? If you remember what I told you, you'll be all right. All you do is hit across that line, and you know what? You get 2 pieces. So, you crack your coconut, drink the chews. It's good. We call it 7-Up because there's no caffeine. Never had it. Never will. This is my show, okay? Since you help me, I'll give you some tips. Come here, sweetie. Come here. Come here. All right, you come in the front here. Just try to see if you like it. It's fresh juice. Do I have to? You have to now. I like it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Drink it. I really like Drink the whole thing. Yeah. There you go. Thank you. Thank you for bringing the kids. Japanese, come and have some juice. Japanese, hayam